Welcome to Tamaris, my lord. My name is Joran. Allow me to explain the situation. The Gate of Promises has sent us back through time to the year 722. The human principalities have been at constant war with one another. With divine favor, Tiyar has united the Heptarchy into the glorious kingdom of Yargand. But now, disaster threatens to steer us away from our destiny. A legendary dragon with power over lightning is sowing seeds of destruction. Thunderclouds hang above us, casting dark shadows across the land. The Darklings have occupied human citadels. We must lay siege and tear them out by the roots. But this time, to halt the Darkling advance, we command the mighty flame dragon, unleash its furious flames. My lord, we cannot allow human history to be rewritten by the forces of darkness. Let us join forces with Tiyar and guide fate back upon the right path.
up? I hope you can hear me. But that was a pretty cool intro, huh? Not too bad. Not too bad. Up? I hope you can hear me. But that was a pretty cool intro. Sorry, hold on. I have to oops, echo. Anyway, yeah, welcome back, y'all. So got a new season, Dragon Siege, as y'all can see. Um, we are already a few days into the season. However, I just really wanted to start the stream, which is the first one for this season, with that nice intro because I think the devs did a great job and just making it all epic and stuff. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. So we're already a few days into the season. I already got a couple things I want to say, and that's kind of the purpose of this little short stream. Um, you know, I have a couple things I want to say about the little dragon. Mainly a few more things in regards to the map layout. Uh, and then, yeah, just kind of like, this one's a weird map, dude, to be honest with you. And some people are really good builders and can read it, maps really quick. I just feel that maybe we can have like a 24-hour period where we get a sneak peek of what the map will look like for your first time around, right? Because, obviously I think everybody should have a fair opportunity to collaborate with the alliances you're gonna, warband with and set something up and not have to be all feeling behind the first day of the season. Because honestly, that was really tough. I have a really good group of people that I'm allied with in our warband. But you try to take into consideration, for example, what I start doing is like merit count, so who gets kind of first dibs on the cool stuff. And then also like alliance power, who's going to really benefit from taking the behemoths, and who's going to get to go into what pass. And the reality is, it's obviously, I think it's not fair for people to have to sit back, regardless of what power their alliance is. Uh, but sadly, the truth is, if you got a really low power alliance, you're not going to be able to do much, except maybe help double rally if you do it right. But anyway, I'm going to go into the map now first. First is going to be the map. If you're playing this season for the first time, I hope that this helps. But there's 4 starting zones. We started here in Lirel, and one of the weirdest things about some of these starting zones is like this dead zone. Not dead zone, but like extra piece of land that just offers all of the villages and just it doesn't get you anywhere. So it's really weird because you mostly build on this section like this. Now the craziest part, and if I'm not mistaken, you'll notice that there's level 1 passes here and there's level 1 passes there. So the one thing that I will say I'm not a fan of is like splitting up the warband. And it just also depends on because depending on like your alliance power and your alliance activity. This map for me screams alliance activity. If you're going to be really active, you will have a good time. If you get paired up with less active teams, it will be a really crappy experience because of the new features that they provided here, which is the castle thing, which is just another fancy choke point. That's all it is. It doesn't give you resources. You build to it, and it just looks super epic and it's super fun. But it's just a choke point with the castle. That's all it is. Give me 1 second. Now, um, that's the starting zone. If you want to take a screenshot, then it leads into like the next zone. So you're gonna end up smashing into here, and then pushing back and forth, which is gonna sound fun. This is the other starting zone, right here. They're doing pretty good with building. And then this is the zone that they'll go to. And then here's another starting zone. This is kind of unused area. There's a lot of wood here. Then this starting zone, this other zone right here, a lot of mountains. Oh, and this is it's like Chile right here, dude. It's just fucking super long. But look, it's all this land. You're just like, what do you do with it, you know? And then you have that zone, and then you have us. So the thing is that we're gonna make a power push here and try to do our best there. But the map is really fucking weird, dude. I don't know. But the thing is, when it comes to looking at your starting zone, my suggestion is to really understand that if you want all teams to go into the next zones, I feel that the only way around is you have to core swap. Now, if you don't know what core swapping is, it's one of those things where you build for a little while and then you destroy your core after you built the Alliance Fortress. So that way you can move the core fortress next to a pass. And that's kind of what we have to do. So right now we're over here, and what we're gonna end up doing is fuck. Dude, what is going on? What we're gonna have to do is kind of build like a U so that we can push here and then get into this zone. Our allies are going to do the same thing, which is kind of interesting because you can almost kind of do the same thing on both ends. Well, they're going to build in here and then have to kind of push. Oh gosh, no, excuse me. They're going to keep going here and push all the way far left, but they have their build going, and they'll eventually reach zone 2 through this extension. So you really have to just try to find the most fair option. Eventually, all of them will core swap because everybody wants to go into the next zones, right? And it's just how it goes. Now, if you notice, I have all these messages. I'm the worst at Diplo. At the end of the day, dude, just bust your back and just fight a lot. Um, Now the next zones, they're pretty easy. Just push, try to take over, and keep pushing until you can. But that's the map. And again, like I'm going to reiterate, when you start to try to plan out how people are going to build, it feels like you're a reflection because you're going into two separate zones at the same time. Because like if you notice here again, pass ones. So you could do this thing where you just split it down the middle and two alliances work push that way, and two alliances work and push down that way. I'm not a fan of that because again, the way we got matched is there's a big power difference between all four teams, and splitting us up would just not really be, I don't think, the best. So I'd rather be more effective and gradually grow in one, but then at least dominate and win the next zone. And then once that's taken over, then go visit and just continue fighting and see if we can take over two zones. But again, we'll have to see how this season progresses. But I hope that I was able to at least provide enough of a few seconds so that you can screenshot it and kind of play around with that when it comes to how you guys are going to build. Now, the other thing about the season, and this is another thing that I got mixed feelings about, is this little turd right here. So this guy, this is an interesting thing. The one side is like, not many people know what it is to have a really good pet with 3-star skills. And to be very transparent, I sometimes have a hard time seeing the difference because it's like I have a couple, but I've also 3-starred the least expensive skills. I still see the results I want when I'm fighting. But like the cool thing about what I'm trying to get at is the cool thing with this pet in this season, which is something exclusive, is that it gives individuals that aren't at higher powers an opportunity to see what a powerful pet, can do. I'm happy that we don't have to use our own resources, pet coins and pet skills to level it up. It's just a matter of staying active and progressing through the Augur Stone that you'll be able to unlock things. On top of when you go do this whole map thing, these are the starting zones. Each starting zone will focus on a certain troop type. This one's mages. This one is archers. This one is cavalry, and then this one's infantry. Okay, you can see it by the first skill. Now, the craziest part is you only get the stuff based on RNG. Okay, so the policies will help you out as well to get some more of that opportunity. But practically, you know, it's not guaranteed just because you go visit it. You're gonna get these great items. But we're gonna do this just to show and tell. Oh crap! That wasn't the one I wanted. Whatever. Fuck it. So, and something else that here's another topic, or excuse me, another detail. When it comes to like working with this dragon pet, I found it very useful and very important to one, especially if you're new, pick which troop type you're going to try to master. I don't see the benefit of trying to be jack of all trades in this game. I feel that you are most effective when you choose your primary troop type and focus on that. And it's also less expensive if you're not really trying to, break the bank. So with that being said, there is a pattern that follows with all pets, so try and memorize which are the key attributes that your troop type war pet needs to better, or not needs to better, but is most effective with. So, for example, in this account right now, I focus on cavalry, and most of the cavalry pets focus on strength, agility, and luck, which is also similar to the archers. But the um, the pet skills is what makes it different. So when it comes to choosing which of these do I pick for this little guy, well, you start from saying, okay, I'm an infantry main, so therefore the war pets I usually go with the infantry troops, focus on strength, endurance, and luck, I believe. And I'm gonna be like, okay, here's strength and endurance, and I'll go with strength in this one. I think it's strength. Yeah. Well, regardless, for this little guy, strength is important because a talent is based off strength. So you won't go wrong picking that. But you don't want to just pick random things thinking that you're going to evenly distribute the points and get them all maxed out. That's not how it works. I don't recommend doing that. Study your pets for the troop type that you choose, and then focus uh maxing out those attributes for this guy. So because for those that have taken that path, your strongest legions based on the troop type that you have all, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Been configured or have been set up to progress in that manner. Um, so I'm going to do this. Yeah. And then all this other stuff comes into play. So anyway, yeah. But obviously, with the talent being one of the most important skills that the war pet has, for this guy, you don't go wrong on putting a bunch of points in the strength because its talent is extremely powerful. This is the only thing that sucks, dude. You just have to wait for this crap to go through. Ugh. But here's a couple other things in regards to this little guy. He doesn't fly. So shout out, to Darth for sharing this detail. I don't understand how that works. So you have a baby dragon that doesn't fly. I guess that makes sense. But it's also one of those things, guys, where it's like there are flying mains out there. And this season is practically pointless if you're focused on all flyers. Because this little guy has a lot to do with the not progression, but with your overall performance this season. Now, let me show you where I'm getting all this information from, and I'm going to guide you to that because I don't want to confuse anybody yet. I should have fucking done this one, dude. That's the one I need. Dormus. Okay, so what I'm trying to get that is check this out. This little guy. He has his own set of skills, right? and you can switch and swap them all you want. I just lost my train of thought. Holy moly. Dang it, man. I literally just lost my train of thought. I fucking forgot what I was going to say. Um, skills. Let's see if I can remember. Skills. Dude, I blanked out, guys. I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. Just right now. Fuck this, dude. I don't get it. Just draw. Maybe I'll remember. All right. Reset. Okay, cool. Ooh, cool. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to go with. Him and the skills. Ah, gotcha. Okay, here we go. I remember now. Sorry for that, guys. Now, the reason I'm trying to emphasize this is just for the flying mains out there, kind of looking out for y'all. It's a drag because this little thing doesn't fly, which makes absolutely no fucking sense, to be honest with you. Now, what's going to affect individuals that don't properly use this guy are these skills that increase the severely wounded. Now, let me see if I can find one. Like, for example, the crit damage right here, and I think this is crit damage right there. There's two skills that boost crit damage. Now, based on what the customer service says, there is no cap on crit damage. Okay? There is a cap on crit rate, which makes sense, right? I don't know what the cap is. Maybe it's 90 or 100%. But you can stack on the crit damage. So this is insane. Now, not everybody knows that. I hope people now know that. Again, I got that through the VA customer service thing in the game. What the fuck is this going? There we go. So, so then now the thing is hitting really hard, and now we're gonna go. Aha! This is what I was trying to get at. The Legion suffers that amount fewer severely wounded, or where are you? Dude, I am losing it today. We're you know what? We're shooting from the hip. I didn't plan accordingly. Where is that skill, guys? Maybe I read it wrong. Fewer, so you can get fewer, but I think this also, there's skills in here where it increases the amount of severely wounded taken. Unless I'm tripping, dude. I hear inflict more severely wounded. Okay, now here's the thing. Attempt number 3. Why are we talking about this right now with the pet and looking out for the whole flying mains? The purpose of being a flying main is that everything in your marches is flying. This guy doesn't fly. So when you as a flying main are not using this guy, you're going to hurt a lot this season because this thing purposely inflicts more severely wounded units. Okay? Now, the greater coordinated teams in a higher, tier KVKs will probably request their garrison rally mains to start not programming, but setting up this little dragon so that you know we're losing a lot of severely wounded troops. And I don't like that. Okay. I don't like that because it doesn't make sense that this thing is a little dragon and it doesn't fly. It should be both land and air. Okay. And if it's true that we will see flying infantry in the future, I don't see people ever trying to go back to this season when flying infantry's back because this little guy doesn't fly. And on top of that, I find it really stupid that they wouldn't then be like, oh yeah, for seasons 2 and above, the little dragon now flies. It's like, really? Why didn't you do that from the beginning, dude? Hold on, I gotta see you fucking kidding. Motherfucker. Fuck you. Hell no. Anyway, kind of fucking stupid ass. So, in a nutshell, this little thing's cool. It's cute and everything. It's very powerful. Very, very powerful. I just feel bad for the flying type because they're gonna have to have one little pet that is powerful to keep their marches alive. When they could have fucking flown, dude. Why doesn't it fly? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. It should be a flying. It's a fucking thunder drake, dude. Come on, all the drakes fly, right? Type. Okay, let's see this one. The sapphire fade drake. That one flies. The berserk fade drake. That one flies. See? Look, it has a little wing right there. I don't have any other fade drakes in here. Thunder drake. Nothing. All right. Next, go back to the event. I mean, to the season. Policies are pretty cool. You can pick these two. This is great. I like all these. Easy, you can easily skip this. There's no need for you to fucking put any money into any prestige into this because if you don't even unlock her, then why bother? It doesn't make any sense. But this shows you that this is there's two things to learn from this one right here. Saluna, legendary Saluna, is only good when everything is flying, and this emphasizes that. She's only 100% at her capacity when everything in the Legion is flying. Heroes, both of them fly. Troops and the pet. But clearly, they didn't make the fucking dragon fly, so they have to do this stupid thing to make her have worth. So whatever. Now here's the thing. This is all just mainly for like the Citadel. And I want to emphasize the Citadels really, or like, the castle things. I don't think they provided any resources. I don't see anything about resources being there. But if you can tell, it's just a big choke point. That's all this is. Okay. However, I think it's super cool. It looks fun. It's entertaining. I hope everybody watching this has a positive experience where everybody in their warband is active and ready to fight. Because this is screaming Lord of the Rings, dude. This is super sick. You can attack from the north and you can attack from the south. And then you can build stuff in there and everything. Okay. So it's really, really cool. And then we have all this stuff like this. And the policies. These are cool. I don't think anything is new. I don't plan on using that bitter end thing this season just because I don't want to lose troops. I just have a strong feeling that there's going to be a lot of dead troops this season. A lot. And that's because everybody's going to be having their war pet produce more severely wounded and dead troops and stuff. Honestly, that's all I really wanted to say about this season was the map and the little dragon. So far, it's just taking so damn long to get to fighting, and I'm over that. This is I shouldn't be more than 4 days. We should be fighting already, but that's not the case. Again, this is just going to be something super short, guys. Bit of a mess. I'm completely out of touch with my streams right now. We got a couple more coming up once the fighting starts. We will be streaming hella early because they never, Golden Dreams doesn't seem to be a priority to people. So now I got to be doing 5:30 in the morning streams to do those early bird raids. But whatever, it's cool. And then what else? Honestly, that's it. So thanks a lot for sticking around. Let me see. Yeah, I'll be back actually, I think I'll be back by this weekend, dude. I think Friday will be the pass opening. So you guys will see me again. All right, my friends, everybody. I hope this helped in some way or the other. And it's been hell of a start to the summer. And then next stream we'll have a bunch of the buddies, so you'll find out exactly where the hell I'm all over the place. All right, I'm out of here. Peace out.